California Governor Gavin Newsom has vetoed the first potential AI bill in the U.S. The legislation aimed to regulate advanced models in California as a home to the world's leading AI companies. Joining us right now with the implications, Matt Calkins is Appian CEO. Good morning to you. I know that you think the regulation is needed. What do you think of this bill in particular?
Yeah, I do think we need regulation, but I don't think we need this bill. It's a good thing it was vetoed. I think there's a few problems with this. Regulating at the state level means that we're going to have many different inputs into regulation, and we'll have an uneven playing field for companies trying to innovate in AI. This would have slowed us down. I'd far rather see legislation at the federal or even the international level. And then secondly, this bill targeted the level at which that the maker of AI, right? It regulated the making of it instead of the using of it, and I honestly think we need to do both.
So when you talk about regulating AI, there's sort of two pieces. One is I want to get into the details of how you think you would actually do it, because we were debating whether the government was even capable of genuinely regulating AI and whether they would have the technical know-how to actually monitor and watch and oversee and capture the sort of liability piece of this. The other piece is, we haven't managed to even get any kind of real regulation around social media. Obviously, there's a debate about whether we should or shouldn't, and there's people on all sides of that. But is there an argument that a state needs to go first because it's so hard to get the federal government to regulate these things if you believe regulation is needed?
Look, I think the government can move. The federal government can move on this just as easily as California can. We don't want a patchwork of legislation. And if California started, it would be hard to keep things consistent. I think regulation should be effective, whatever we do. You're right that it doesn't make sense to create something that doesn't work. We have to really be concerned about that. And it's hard to regulate what we as a society do not yet understand. AI is still a black box. And you can see this in the regulation. You can see that people are worried about catastrophic outcomes. And while that is one thing we should be concerned about, it is not the totality of what regulation on AI should address. We should be thinking about other issues like privacy, and it shows that we don't understand AI, the fact that we're not addressing that as well. We should probably start with a transparency bill, of all things. We need a safety bill, but let's begin with
the
transparency.
And so when you say transparency bill, that would mean that what? OpenAI and Anthropic and any of these folks who have a closed model would have to open them up, or at least open them up to the government?
Begin by disclosing the data they're using to build their models. I applaud the way OpenAI is publishing their safety information, but let's begin with how these models are built. If we, the public, understood that, we would be pressuring our legislators for a different kind of regulation. We'd want to know why AI is using our private data in order to train their models, right? Our private correspondence, our personally identifiable information, our copyrighted information. That's flying under the radar today because there isn't regulation that requires AI to disclose it.
And what do you think would happen if we found out exactly how these things are being trained?
I think we would all realize that we were training AI, and we would wish to get our privacy back. We would ask for AI to have permission and maybe even compensate us before it used our copyrighted information, personally identifiable information, and private data.
Are you surprised, this is a maybe broader philosophical question, about how much data we have as a public been willing to just give up, not just in the context of AI, but in the context of social media, in the context of advertising, in the context of everything. And we collectively complain about it all the time and do next to nothing about it. In fact, oftentimes when there's a privacy breach or something happens and we say, oh my goodness, this is terrible, or this site is using my data and I know it, we then go back to the same site the next day. And so I know that we philosophically think to ourselves, this is bad, and yet we seem to have no problem with it from a practical perspective.
It's incredible how much privacy people have been willing to give away over the last decade or two. I agree with you. But I think that we might draw the line if we realized that we were training AI to be us. If we realized we were training AI to substitute for the work that we're doing, to be able to rewrite our books or retake our photographs or emulate the thing we do that makes our livelihood, I think we might draw the line at privacy when we realize that AI was intermediating between us and our purpose.
So you would that sounds, though, that you think that AI ultimately is going to be a bad thing. I mean, I think there's a lot of people, those who think that AI will be forward progress, who say to themselves, you know what, read all of my emails because one day I want you to write the emails for me. Read all of these documents because I want you to help do the research with me. I mean, and that's really the fundamental question.
That's right. And the day we do that will be the day we truly trust AI. And so the most important foundation we could draw in this industry today is one of trust. Trust AI to the point that we would let them study our own correspondence so that they could write our email. Now, in order to do that, we need to have transparency about how our data is used and full protection that AI is not going to misuse any of our information to train somebody else's model, right? Or to emulate what we do in order to remove our economic value. So transparency is a precursor to trust, and trust is what will truly move this industry forward.
Matt, it's a debate that is not going anywhere, and if social media is any lesson for us, we might be talking about it for a decade or more. We'll see.